Alright guys, I got a special one here for you today. So, as you know, I've become a big wine fan, and I've been really enjoying my my more gentle drops. So, I got something here for you, which is a little bit of a rare limited edition found in Australia. This is called the Kings of Prohibition. So, this is actually a Tempranillo. As you can see, it almost looks like a whiskey glass. You know, it's quite nice, and I believe there's a series of them, right? And this particular series is dedicated to a Prohibition era gentleman. So this particular one is Bugsy Siegel, who we all know he was a Jewish gangster. He's an American Italian mobster. Back in the Prohibition era, obviously died of gunshot wounds. He was it was a big name. If you look at any of the YouTube channels which really focus on Italian mafia crime or whatnot in that particular era, Frankie and some of those guys there, they really speak about him. Frankie the Pitbull. What I can say is this drop is going to be interesting because most Tempranillos found in Spain are meant to be a sort of a classier type of drop, right? It's for us as Australians, it's an imported wine, so we expect a certain level of delicacy towards it, and we in Australia have phenomenal wines. But that being said, I really enjoyed the labeling of this. It's got the casino vibe. So let me give you guys a nice little look here. It's got that casino mobster vibe. The label itself, it's actually quite unique. It's not a sticker. It's almost screen printed onto the bottle, which is very expensive to do. So obviously this was made overseas. As far as the bottle, it would have been done in a screen printing factory, and that makes sense because it says it's a limited release premium parcel. Now the interesting part about this is the bottles. They don't have like a limited edition number, which some of these type of limited releases was. For example, the Brown Brothers Tempranillo had a limited edition release, and you could check your little number against it. But this one doesn't. So I'm not too sure if that's just kind of a marketing aspect of it, like unlimited, but it's not limited. That being said, I do hope it stays on the market because I do like this kind of design. It's a bit cooler. It's a bit nicer. It's not exactly a wine, Anyway, guys, let's just jump straight into it. So, Kings of Prohibition Tempranillo is complex with delicious flavors of cherry and plum with a fine, seductive, velvety tannins. From the great era of the Roaring '20s, Prohibition stemmed the infamous Kings of Prohibition. During the dry period, many myths were born, and the story of bootleggers such as Bugsy became legends, setting the path for wine and distribution around the world. This is a 13.5% alcohol wine, ladies and gentlemen. 13.5%. So, look, this is nitpicking here a little bit, but I do notice the 13.5s slightly will always taste a bit better than the 14s. I know that 0.5% of alcohol is probably negligible. Perhaps it's a psychological thing, but I do notice that the 13.5s, they go down smooth. They're not as harsh. It's a little bit more enjoyable. So, who would I recommend this wine to without obviously trying it first? Tempranillo is a phenomenal wine to recommend to new people jumping into the wine. Let's say you're going on a date, okay? Let's say you're going on a date and you want to impress a girl, and or usually it's you want to impress a girl. It's the guy buying the wine. Let's be honest. You want to do something that's a kind of easy middle field, right? If you don't know she's a wine drinker. And if you're going to go down for a red, Tempranillo is the best choice because it's so smooth. It's easily enjoyed. Non-wine drinkers will love it because it's an introduction to wine, I would say. And it's not going to be too bursty in the mouth as far as like, it's not going to make people like, that was nice, They don't have to pretend to enjoy it. It's genuinely enjoyable. That being said, I did not clean this glass. I had another drop of another wine earlier. We were doing a little bit of a wine testing today, but c'est la vie. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to try the Bugsy Siegel limited edition Kings of Prohibition Tempranillo limited release. Let's see how we find this particular drop. Now, if you followed the case of Johnny Depp, they would have called that a monster pint. Alright guys, let's get into it. You know, for a wine that's named after a gangster, it smells super smooth. It smells super smooth. It does. It smells inviting. It's not harsh at all. I'm gonna make the worst comparison as a wine, you know, as a wine could get, but it's like a nice, stronger grape, juicy, flavorful. It feels like something that you could almost quench your thirst with, rather than something that you want to sharpen your tongue with. You know what I mean? So initially, I really enjoy the smell. I really enjoy the smell. I can tell straight away it's not going to be harsh. Okay, so the first initial flavor is slightly harsher than I anticipated. It's almost like that woodeny casket smell, or that taste. It's like a wooden effect, right? But then it gently gets progressively better and fruitier and more enjoyable. So the stages that I would have went through is it comes up here like quite wow, and then it drops down slightly. So you feel like you're having a drop that's it's a bit more sophisticated than the label pretends to be, and then it brings you in and gives you like a level of, I would say, 3 different notes of flavor that are quite fruity, and they happen in stages of about 2 seconds to 4 seconds. I would like, for me personally, right? I'm not quite sure that initial coating. I think it's the cherry. It has to be the cherry. It's got this like, yeah, cherry coat into it, which is like that first initial slam. You know, it's quite strong, and then it just gets gentler and gentler. And I'm a big fan of that, guys. I'm a very big fan of that. That was yeah, I'm a fan of that, guys. That's something I would not recommend this to first-time users. I take that statement back, which I said earlier. I would still recommend Tempranillo as a selection. This particular drop, I wouldn't go for a first-time user. I would go for someone that is perhaps a fan of Tempranillos, or someone that, you know, wants an interesting type of Tempranillo as a drop. I would highly recommend someone that does enjoy Tempranillos to try this. I think this is a bottle you should buy. I think this is a bottle that you should try at least once, because it is nice. It's very nice. But not for a first-time user. Definitely more for a little bit of an experienced taste, I would say. This would pair so well with a really well, plated platter. You know, some really nice brie, some crackers with some plum in there, and some really smoked, well-aged prosciutto. Oh, it would come together quite well. You know what I mean, guys? That's my review on the Kings of Prohibition, the Bugsy Siegel edition. Now, I haven't seen this in all wine cellars. I've seen it. I've seen it in the Woolworths selection of wine cellars, which is I believe BWS. So I've seen it in a few BWSs, not all of them. I do not see it in any other selection. I've been to a few wine stores, and I've tried to, like in my local area, like I wanted to see what the availability was when I was buying this particular one, because it did catch my eye, but it wasn't available. So similar to some of the other limited editions, like I said, the the one I will try review next, if I can grab my hands on some more, will be the Brown Brothers Tempranillo. That was a phenomenal drop. We bought a whole case of it. Me and my wife enjoyed it immensely. But this particular one I only found in my local area of Melbourne, and I will try, maybe perhaps the company can contact me and they can release some locations where they do store it. But if they do, I'll put it down in the link below. Guys, if you do like this particular review, Nom Nom Glug Glug, you know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button, and we do this for the love of all things Nom Nom and Glug Glug. Hopefully you guys enjoy good food and good wine and good beverages too, and if you do, I'll see you on the next one.